Welcome to Access Asia. I'm Yuka Hwaye, and these are our main stories in this edition. Joy among LGBTQ plus couples in Thailand as a law legalizing same-sex marriage took effect. Thousands marked the occasion by formally registering their unions on the first day. A father who took his employer to court over his right to paternity leave continues to fight for a better workplace for parents. Glen Wood will join us to talk about his experience. And meet the creator of Young-hee, the iconic killer doll in Squid Game, who designed the giant robot partly based on her own daughter. Nearly 2,000 gay couples rushed to town halls across Thailand to register their unions as a law recognizing same-sex marriage came into effect. The landmark Marriage Equality Act makes Thailand the third nation in Asia to legalize such unions after Taiwan and Nepal, granting LGBTQ plus couples the same rights as heterosexual couples. Jennifer Ben-Brahim has more.
Sealed with a kiss. Two of Thailand's most popular actors became the first same-sex couple to say "I do" as the kingdom's new marriage equality bill came into effect.
Today is a remarkable day that love is love. We allow to have love as a normal people.
What was once purely symbolic is now legal. The new legislation has amended the civil and commercial code to put the words individuals or marriage partners instead of men and women or husband and wife. Despite having a reputation for acceptance and inclusivity, with the annual Gay Pride Parade in June through the bustling streets of Bangkok, Thai society largely holds conservative values. They may be famous, but this has not stopped Sapa New and Apiwat facing discrimination in everyday life.
11 years ago, 80 to 90% of the comments on our viral marriage proposal video were cyberbullying. Society back then did not understand why two men would get down on their knees and propose to each other.
The government has struggled for decades to pass a marriage equality law, but Thailand's current Prime Minister made it one of her main policy priorities.
I think that this is very important that around the world notice us and know that in this small country, we have this kind of thought, we have this kind of support for our people. So we all should be proud.
Same-sex couples like Sunma and Danaya will finally have a chance to formalize their union.
We live together, we bought a house, we bought a car, but we cannot share these things together like a married couple. So now, when this is happening, we feel that it's our rights that we need to secure as quickly as possible.
The couple had been in a committed relationship for more than 13 years and even had a wedding ceremony in 2019. This new bill means a second chance to celebrate their love for each other in front of friends and family.
Many new fathers take time off work to take care of their babies. In Japan, there's been a surge in those taking paternity leave in recent years, thanks to a 2022 law that obliged companies to encourage staff to do so. Paternity leave had already been guaranteed before this law, but hardly any fathers took it, and those who did faced stigma and harassment, according to Glen Wood, who took his employer to court over his parental rights a decade ago. His new book, Too Big to Care, calls on companies to adopt sustainable business practices, including respecting parental rights. He joins us now from Japan. So glad to have you, Glen. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Yuka. It's great to be here.
Now, could you first of all tell us about your experience back in 2015?
Well, my son was born in 2015, and it was a life or death situation. He was born prematurely. The hospital was calling me, telling me to come. I approached my long-term employer with this situation, and they basically rejected my claim. They wouldn't grant paternity leave, which is a legal right in Japan, and eventually they fired me for it. It's really time for change in the workplace, not only in Japan, but around the world. Parental rights are not an option, they're a must. And if we're not supporting families to have both a career and children, then there's going to be a problem, and it's not sustainable behavior. And that's what I highlight in the book.
Now, you filed a lawsuit in 2017 over this case and fought all the way to the Supreme Court, which rejected your claim of paternity harassment. You're still fighting the case, though, aren't you?
That's right. And, I've promised to my family and to Japan, really, and for that matter, to the world overall, that this is a situation that needs to change. If young people and if everyone can't have a family and a career, then we're going to lose cultures, we're going to lose economies, and we're seeing that in Japan today with 1 million people per year. The population is now declining in Japan, which is really a shocking situation, and it's largely because we're not supporting families, we're not supporting parental rights.
And has Japanese culture, corporate culture, changed since you brought this fight on the legal stage? And are there many cases today of men arguing they are suffering paternity harassment?
Absolutely. We're thrilled with the progress we've seen. Many have called it a revolution. Some people have given me the moniker, the father of Japan. Since my case began, when I first tried to take paternity leave, which has actually been a legal right in Japan since the 80s, there was only about 2% of men that even tried to take it in Japan. Well, we're very happy to see that today that's over 30%, as your chart showed earlier. And so we've had huge progress. We've still got a long ways to go. And this isn't the reason I published this in English to start with, is that this is really a global situation. And so I'm hoping that the global community catches on to the great importance of supporting families.
What would you say there's still a long way to go?
Well, we see in many even developed countries, we still don't have standardized maternity or paternity leave laws or support for families. We still have a lot of corporations that seem to believe that by pushing people to the very limit and not allowing them to have children is somehow a sustainable, more profitable way to run a business. Well, I show very clearly in the book that that is not the case, that sustainability is actually, as the word says, if you want to be an ongoing concern as a company, you need to support families. You can't just go on, and it's not just families, right? You can't destroy the environment today and try to cover it up. We've got the internet, we've got sites like Glassdoor where people can go and tell their experiences. Customers are watching what companies are doing to see where they're going to buy their goods and services. And investors as well. We've got ESG investors, but investors overall. If investors see that employees are happy and motivated employees, that makes all the difference, and that's going to lower the cost of equity for corporations. And the companies that are actually doing the right thing are going to end up not only being the winners, Yuka, but they're going to be more profitable.
Now, Japanese companies rely on temporary workers, don't they, and often don't replace staff who go on parental leave. This adds pressure even more to new mums and dads, doesn't it?
Exactly. So if people are living from job to job, from paycheck to paycheck in part-time jobs, companies aren't giving them the same rights as regular full-time employees. But in fact, I was a regular full-time employee, and the company still was able to reject those rights. So overall, we really need a shift in the thinking. We need a shift in the way we look at human rights, and parental rights is really one of the very core of the human rights that if we don't honor as a culture, as a society, as an economy, we're going to find ourselves in a non-sustainable or a death spiral type of situation.
Well, Glen Wood, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much, Yuka. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, if you've watched Netflix's smash hit series Squid Game, you must remember that face, the scary, gigantic doll in the deadly red light, green light game. Its name is Young-hee, and its designer says she took inspirations from her own daughter. Spoiler alert, in the upcoming season 3, Young-hee is slated to have a partner, a boy doll. Here's Charlie James.
She was the breakout star when Squid Game first debuted, not an actor, but a doll. A cute killing machine named Young-hee. She's the bloodthirsty referee in the show's version of Red Light, Green Light. After becoming an icon to fans of the South Korean series, she's back in season 2, which was released on December 26th. The production designer for Squid Game says the doll was partly inspired by her own daughter.
I designed a short fringe above her eyebrows, and my daughter had a bowl cut for a long time, which was very cute. The most important thing was the facial expression. I tried to make the nose, mouth, and cheekbones look cute, but at the same time, I wanted her eyes to have a certain madness and show the moving eyeballs to work as a killer doll.
Young-hee is also a centerpiece of Netflix's promotional tours for the series, making appearances in Bangkok, in Sydney Harbor, staging red light, green light games on the Champs-Élysées in Paris, and in Los Angeles, where fans said she is as scary in real life as on the screen.
I felt like I was there and I could feel the thrill, the horror.
In the third and final season of Squid Game, Young-hee is getting a boyfriend, Choo-soo. Fans are already speculating about the vicious games these two deadly dolls will play together.
That's all for this week's Access Asia, but do stay tuned if you can for more world news coming up here on France 24.